In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to multiply and divide using scientific notation. We'll start with multiplication. First thing I'm going to do is write out this expression that's written down. So it's going to be 9.8 times 10 three times 3.2 times 10 twice. Now, since it's all multiplication, it doesn't matter the order. So I'm going to rearrange it a little bit. I'm going to make that 9.8 times 3.2 times, and now I'll have all the tens. And I might as well shorten that up right now, too. That's already 10 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens. So I'll make it 10 to the 5th power. If I use a calculator and multiply 9.8 times 3.2, you get 31.36 times 10 to the 5th. Now it looks sort of like it's in scientific notation. However, the 31 and 36 hundredths is too big. Remember, in scientific notation, that decimal part has to be less than 10. Now let's think about this. Since the exponent on the 10 is 5, that means that this decimal point needs to go 5 places to the right in order to be finished. If I put it between the 3 and the 1, now we have one additional space to go. Instead of going 5, I actually now have to go 6 places. Now let me show you what that looks like when I don't write it out quite so much. Here I've got another problem. We're still going to multiply the 8.2 times 2.1, and when you do that you get 17.22 times 10. Now there are 4 tens multiplied together in that first term and 8 of them over here. Rather than writing them all out, I know that altogether there would be 4 plus 8 tens. In other words, there's 12, so it's 17.22 times 10 to the 12th power. Like the last slide, that 17 and 22 hundredths is too big. We need to put the decimal between the 1 and the 7. Now sometimes it'll come out that it is already in scientific notation. It just so happens that the first ones I gave you, they're not. So it's 10 to, now instead of moving it 12 to the right, I have to move it 13. It has to go one more space. Okay, I want you to try the problem. Let's go to dividing with scientific notation. When you divide, I'm going to rewrite this as a fraction. So it's 3.22 times 10 multiplied together 6 times. All divided by 4.7 times a 10 multiplied by itself 3 times. Now we are going to actually use a calculator to divide the two numbers that are not tens, and I'll have to round that, and I'm going to round it to 685 thousandths times. Now when you're dividing by powers of 10, if you look at this, for every 10 on the bottom, I can cross one off the numerator. So since there are 3 in the denominator, I'm going to cross off and reduce out 3 from the numerator. That leaves us 10 to the 3rd power left. So if you think about it, first of all, this number is too small. In scientific notation, the decimal part also has to be greater than 1. But right now, as it is, if I were to finish this problem, I'd have to move the decimal 3 places, according to this, 3 places to the right, which would put it after the 5. So if I put that decimal part, make it bigger than 1, I've already moved one of those 3 spots, and so I only have to go 2 more. So now we're in scientific notation. You may have noticed that to get this 3 that I have right here, I could have just subtracted the exponents. And so that's what I'm going to do with the next example. With this, I'm going to take and divide the 2 divided by 8.4, and then take it times 10, and I'm going to subtract the exponents instead of writing them all out. So 6 minus 3. So 2 divided by 8.4, again I'll have to round it, but it comes out to 238 thousandths times 10 to the third power. This number, again, sometimes it will come out in the right size, but this one it's too small again. If I were to finish this problem out, we'd have to move the decimal point 3 places to the right. As it turns out, I'm going to move one of those 3 places right away. So now I only have to go 2 places to the right, and this would be the final answer in scientific notation. So here's one for you to try. Good luck. You can go back and go through this again if you need to watch it again.